Chief, over to you, please.
Sorry, man. This is rough. Let's get the building over. We got those guys there. You know what I'm saying? I got one guy. Okay, so we do have a couple of representatives, like Exo was talking about, Mr. John back here. We got some guys in the back there. We talked about the no-fee passports. You can't actually see them. We did have the school liaison. They reached out about 3 or 4 hours ago. They had some plane delays. They did the red eye flight, so they're not gonna be able to make it, unfortunately, right? But we're looking at each brief about 15, 20 minutes, right? The remaining hour or so is basically for you guys, if y'all got questions, right? We also got Mr. Lieutenant Commander Console, Mr. Stafford here, that asked any questions about the pay, right? Pay personnel, category 0 through 4. Your entitlements and stuff that you're entitled to. So we're not looking to hold everybody up, right? I know it's in the evening, but we're gonna get through briefs, starting with Mr. John, you be good, go first. And then, no fee passports, right? And then Mr. Console and Mr. Staff here asking questions about the pay. And then if you got any questions during the time frame, please ask, but again, everything's tailored for the end. If you got any questions, so we're not looking to hold everybody.
Can we just real quick remind everybody category 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 before we get into any details? Can you just give us a 30-second overview on the categories of sailors, please?
Yeah, sure. So, the way that first broke down the entitlements by 5 categories. Category 0 is pretty much you have orders or you're about to retire, God forbid, them due right before the effective date. So you should already know that by now. Category 1 is the huge category, which is the primary category, which means that you have 12 or more months after the effective date. That gives you the full ride to Japan with all the entitlements, travel, dependent household goods, shipments, everything. So that's category 1. The Cat 2 folks, they have less than 12 months after the effective date, and they're paying to negotiate orders, but they still are under that 12-month period, so they don't have that full set of orders to Japan. Everybody has their intentions with their careers, so if you're intending to stay with San Diego, you definitely run up your chain if you want to extend. That's correct. Category 3 are the folks with follow-on orders attached from San Diego to your next duty station. You should have those orders in hand prior to the effective date. Your household good shipments and your dependents are directed to the new duty station, wherever that is. So those for the Cat 3 folks. And then the Cat 4s are for any prospective gains, any PGs in here that are reported. So you just report it in before the effective date. Pretty much same deal. It's just that we'll get to later if you have any questions about family separation allowance and things like that. And those are the categories.
All right, so that's really important, guys. As you remember from last time, everybody's going to get up there and talk Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4 sailors. Okay? Cat 1, bulk of the ship. Everybody that's got a PRD or EAOS more than 12 months from July 31st of this year. So if your PRD or EAOS is beyond July 31st, 2025, you're a Cat 1 sailor. Cat 2 sailors, guys like me, I have less than 6 months left by the time we home port ship, but I'm not currently under orders. Different entitlements. Cat 3 sailors, guys, let's see, we got a couple of them. Commo, Cat 3 sailor, has orders will have orders in hand before we actually execute the home port ship. Okay? And Cat 4 prospective games, we have orders to the ship with the home port being Japan, whether we're there yet or not. Alright? So all of these entitlements play out differently for the different category sailors, and that was one of the things we did really wrong at the last home port or town hall. Alright, so that was something we did really wrong last time, is we got that out too late. So now, if you have questions, specifically say, I am a Cat 1 sailor, what does this mean for me? And that'll help get the right response for you. Because if you have that question, I guarantee there's somebody else in the room that's asking the same thing. Okay? Alright, with that, we'll turn it on over. Thank you, sir.
31 years, proud Marine, that's what I'm talking about.
How's everybody doing? Adapt and overcome, flexibility, and I don't like PowerPoint anyway, because Jeff got point PowerPoint. But, on behalf of Mike Todd, my general manager who's back in St. Simons, and our president, Roy Moore, thank you for allowing and entrusting us to take care of your car. My name is John Pack, I'm the regional manager of West Coast Operations. I cover down on the entire West Coast, Guam, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Japan, and Korea. So I have a pretty large area that I cover. I'm also a site manager, you have to be multifaceted, not yet. But the company is International Auto Logistics, and we will be taking care of your vehicles. So the PowerPoint that I did have has a lot of information on it, but I'm gonna cover down on the specific items that you need to be concerned about for storage of your POV. The items I'm gonna talk about also on our website, tcsmypov.com. I'm gonna leave some cards with you as well. Those cards have my direct information as far as phone number, as well as email. You can reach out to me directly. I'll have a team assembled that's gonna actually be doing the input of the information for your vehicles. They'll actually be putting it into our system, which is called Laser. And then once we get everything consolidated, we're gonna actually set up dates and times when you will actually be bringing your vehicle to turn-in site, to turn your vehicle in for storage. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the paperwork. Paperwork, as you know, regardless of what branch you're in, is makes the military run. But it's imperative that you make sure you have these items. A full and complete set of orders. A full and complete set of orders. I cannot overemphasize that enough. Please make sure you provide all pages. Please make sure all pages are legible. And please make sure there's no darkened or redacted information on the orders. We have to have a clear set. When we submit these items to the finance on the military side, which is Transcom, they require that this information is clear. We understand that there's sensitivities about the social security number, however, it has to be clear. It's the only way we can get reimbursed for anything that we do on behalf of the military. So please make sure a complete set of orders, all pages, all modifications, as you're familiar with. Please make sure you provide all modifications, and please make sure it's a complete set. The next thing is either the vehicle registration or the title. For home port moves, you do not have to provide both. If you were doing a regular shipment or a regular storage, you would have to provide both. But we need either or. So either the title or the vehicle registration. The Lincoln Holder letter will not suffice. It has to be one of the two. Vehicle registration that is current or title. So please make sure you provide one of those two. The next item that you need to make sure you provide is a recall. You go to our website and you go to the turn-in tab and then go to the vehicle tab. You'll see a link there for recall. NHSTA. That's for the vehicle recall site. You put your VIN in there, and it will let you know if you have an active recall on your vehicle. If you have an active recall on your vehicle and there's no remedy, no further action is needed from you. However, if you do have an active recall and there is a remedy, you are required to get it fixed unless the dealership tells you the part is not available. So those are the exemptions for that item. With that being said, if it's a fire recall, you have to get that fixed before you can turn the vehicle in for storage. So please make sure you make note of that. And once again, if you have any questions, any concerns throughout this whole process, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to answer any and all questions. So once again, active recalls. There's no remedy, you're good to go. There's a remedy, you are required to get that fixed unless the dealership provides you something on their letterhead that states the recall item, do not have the parts, do not have the remedy, and we can still take the car. Once again, the exception is fire recalls. We have to have that fixed. Any questions on that? Okay, in regards to if you have an engine check light, the engine check light item has to be fixed before you turn the vehicle in. So we do actually look on your dashboard when you bring the vehicle to, and I will get more to that later. But if you have engine check light on your dashboard, you have to have it fixed or something from a dealer or a mechanic stating that that particular engine check light is nothing hazardous or nothing that will provide, that's gonna cause a fire or cause some type of electronic malfunction. So please make sure you provide those items for that particular item. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the paperwork that goes with what we talked about. The vehicle registration, the orders, the recall, and then the documents that are on our website, which is the storage acknowledgement form and the pre-shipping form. Both forms are on our website. Once again, tcs.pov.com. When you get to that website, turn-in tab, go to the turn-in tab, and then go to documents, and you'll see those two forms right there. All you have to do is print them out, initial the storage acknowledgement form, sign and date it at the bottom, and make sure you initial the ones that are pertinent to you. Once again, it's pretty self-explanatory. I know we don't have PowerPoint, but if you have any questions about it when you're filling it out, once again, you can reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to cover that item with you. The next item is the pre-shipping form. The actual emergency notification or the actual address that you're going to. You can put a stateside address in that particular block. So you can put information for a family member, a friend, or someone that we can reach out to if something happens to your shipment and we can't get a hold of you. So that's what that block is for. We understand that sometimes the actual information about where you're going to, you don't have an address. That's why you can put a stateside address in that particular block on the pre-shipping form. Those forms along with that is everything you need in order to process your vehicle for storage. Very simple. So once again, full set of orders, all pages, no redactions, nothing darkened out. Make sure all orders pages are clear. Second item, vehicle registration or title. One of the two will suffice. Do not need both. Number three, the recall. Please make sure you go to our website, put your VIN in, and check for your recall. We understand with the age of some vehicles, the recall information may not pop up. If the vehicle is more than 20 years old, you'll have to go to the dealership, and they can give you any information regarding if there's any active recalls on your vehicle. So per se, in the 90s and backwards, you may have to go to the dealership and get that information. Storage acknowledgement form and the pre-shipping form. That's it. It's a very simple process. Once everything is consolidated together, the information is going to be sent up to our headquarters. They'll review it, make sure everything is there where it should be, and then they'll send it to our person that will actually be doing input for that process. Any questions on the documents? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
on the recalls, does that include convenience and like cosmetic recalls? Or is it just the safety and like?
It can be any or, and it doesn't matter what the recall may be. You're correct. There's some for antennas, there's some for the mirror, there's some for the actual operation of seats, the seat belts, airbags are pretty much a common one, but we have to have the recall fixed and resolved. The reason being for that is just in case, at the end of this deployment, your vehicle has to go on ship. If the recall is not resolved, the vessel will not allow the vehicle to come on the vessel. Any further questions on documents? Okay, the next item I'm gonna go talk to about is the vehicle. Vehicle cleanliness. Please make sure your vehicle is clean inside and out. Make sure you pull out the actual, the rugs, as far as the carpets, the actual weather mats, pull them out, vacuum underneath. If you own a pet, a dog or so, please make sure you get as much of that hair off the seats, underneath the seats, get it clean, because we do check for those items. Please make sure the vehicle is clean inside and out. On the actual PowerPoint, you'll see examples of what we talk about, what we say is clean. So we try to make it very, very simple, make the process, foolproof, that way you don't have any questions or concerns. Quarter tank of fuel or less. Quarter tank of fuel or less. Please make sure the vehicle has quarter tank quarter tank or less. That's one of the biggest things that we have to make sure of. So that item will be looked at too as well when you come to the turn. Next item is wet carpets. If you have wet carpets, we're not talking about the actual, weather mats or the actual carpet mats. We're talking about the carpet itself or inside of the trunk area. We do check, and if we press down and water comes up, we will reject the vehicle. The reason for that is mold. Mold will develop, we put what's called desiccant packets inside of your vehicle. That will absorb some of it, but if the rugs are wet, it will not absorb all of it. And what will happen is mold will come on your carpet area, actually up on the vinyl area, seats, everywhere. And I wish with the PowerPoint I could show you some of the pictures, but we get some really nasty cars, people at PCS in areas that have hot climates. Guam is one, Hawaii is one. When they get back to the States, it's all over the inside. And once mold, as you know, gets inside of your vehicle, I don't care how much you clean it will never come out. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Once it gets in there, they try to do the best that they can, but they will not be able to get all of it out. So for your sake and ours, please make sure the carpeting is dry. Next thing is make sure no major cracks or chips on your windshield. What we call a major crack or chip is anything 6 inches or more in diameter or length. So if it's underneath that, you're good to go. But if it's over that, we're asking you to replace the windshield. Okay? So it doesn't count for the side unless it's a major crack or something that will impair actually the view on the actual side windows. But the windshield is our most important thing that we're looking at. So if we see that, we will ask you to get the windshield replaced when you take the car to our possession. Any questions on that? Okay, yes, sir.
Can you run into whether you're on the stove?
That's what I'm about to get to. Okay. So, cleanliness we talked about, quarter tank of fuel, or less we talked about. We talked about major cracks or chips on the windshield. Next item, we're gonna talk about what you can store and what you cannot store. No personal items, no hazardous items, no weapons, no fuel, no fluids, no cleaning supplies, no straps. You can store items such as a car seat. So if you have car seats, they are able to be stored. You can store a stroller. You can store a pack and play. You can store jumper cables, a first aid kit. You can store a jump box, not a jump box, but a tire inflator that plugs in. But anything with a battery in it, like flashlights, no good. You can store snow chains. You can take those. Those kind of items, no batteries, no hazardous items, no, if you have like filters or items that you use, funnels, those cannot be stored as well because once they have been touched with a hazardous item, we don't know if it's clean or not. So we cannot take it into our possession. Those are the items you can store inside of the vehicle. Remove all chains, remove all items from around the rearview mirror. No air fresheners. Make sure you remove those items as well. Those are the big items right there that you cannot have inside of the vehicle. Is there any questions what I've covered so far that you think you may be able to store that you want to ask about? But once again, everything that I just talked about is on that brief and it's on our website. So if you go to look at vehicle, PCS, myBOB.com, go underneath turn in and then to vehicle, you will see everything I just talked about. And once again, my team will be back here when we start the actual process for receiving the vehicle. I will be on site to actually walk you through that process if you have questions or concerns. So our throughput, what we're looking at to process each day is 32 cars per day. process 2 cars every 30 minutes. So it's a very quick and efficient process. As long as you have, and what you don't supposed to have, inside of the vehicle. But we can still get through that process within 30 minutes. I have 2 inspectors, and they are very efficient, and when they can't do a vehicle, I can step in and knock it out too. So, 30 minutes, 1 car, we'll have 2 inspectors, so every 30 minutes, we're knocking out 2 cars per hour, 4 cars per. So it's a very quick process. But with that being said, we can only be as efficient if you're on time. Just keep in mind that you may think 5 minutes or 10 minutes doesn't hurt, but we only have 30 minutes to process a vehicle. We want to give the same level of care to you when you show up for your appointment that we're giving to the person that's coming behind you. So every minute that you're late, it does affect our ability to meet that timeline. Yes, sir.
You describe the storage facilities and security
Okay, so your cars, once you actually process your vehicle in with us, what's gonna happen is you're gonna receive back what's called a vehicle inspection. We do an inspection of the vehicle, do not check mechanical items. We don't do any diagnostics on the vehicle. We don't check fluid levels. What will happen is once your vehicle is processed here, it goes to the storage facility. When it gets to the storage facility, they will check all fluid levels. They'll check your brake fluid level. They'll check your antifreeze level. If you have special type of oil for your vehicle or special type of antifreeze, on your actual shipping instruction form, a summary, please make a note of that, because that information will be inputted into our system, and our storage site will be able to make sure that they use that specific oil or that specific fluid, or whatever you're saying is, it has to be added to the vehicle when it's actually increased. So if you have a special fluid, please make sure you make note of that. Along with your actual vehicle inspection form, you will receive back a shipping summary. All the contact information on how to get a hold of the storage facility is listed on the shipping summary. Your phone number, their email, and actually where they're located, which is in Tracy, California. Your vehicle arrives, once again, all fluid levels are checked. They check the air conditioning, they check the heating, they check the lights, they check the horn. They make sure to add what's called a preservative to your fuel so that water does not get into your system. They also put what's called a preservative on your battery. It's like a red or blue substance. We'll make sure that the batteries don't get any corrosion or anything like that. When the vehicle is out processed for storage, that item will be removed to make sure that your battery doesn't have any issues and that you can have a full contact for the vehicle to be able to start. Other than that, it is an indoor facility. It's quite large. It can hold up to 4,000 cars. It is heat control, air control. It's in the inside. The vehicle will be maintained in that area the entire time that it's with us. It's not placed outside for no reason whatsoever. And when it's time for it to come and be picked up, that's when it will be staged outside. But for the time frame that it's in our control, it's inside the entire time frame. Controlled and actually monitored and checked every 30 days. So what happens on the 30-day check? They start your vehicle, they let it run for 30 minutes. That gives the vehicle an opportunity to warm up and also to make sure they can check the heating and the air conditioning systems. They move your vehicle back 12 inches and move it forward 12 inches. This is to ensure that no bald spots get on your tires. Along with that too, they check the lights again. They check the fluids. They check to make sure there's no mold or anything inside of your vehicle. And the most important thing, is make sure that the vehicle does start on its own. How long is the deployment again?
This is a whole for shit, unfortunately.
Okay. If it goes more than 1 year, we are obligated to change the battery if the battery voltage goes below a certain point. If it's 3 years or more, we will change out the battery. So that's how that process works. 1 year or more, depending on what the battery is, we may change it or we may not. If it's 3 years or more, we do change the back. That's to make sure that we change it based off of the specifications for that vehicle. So it does have to meet the specifications when we change it back. So it's not off the shelf, it's actually, batteries that meet your vehicle specifications. Any questions about the others, as far as the storage site? Now, a couple notes on the storage site. You can call them and ask questions about your vehicle. You can email them and ask questions about your vehicle. What you cannot do is go to the storage site and see your vehicle. They're not accommodated to set up and receive customers. So if you wanna see your vehicle, they can take pictures. They'll be more than happy to do that process for you. They can give you updates. They can let you know if there's any issues or concerns. And oh, by the way, you receive what's called a shipping instruction number. That shipping instruction number allows you to go on our IQB lookup and see what happened with your vehicle when maintenance was done. So if there's any issues or concerns, like if the vehicle has a major issue, you'll see that noted. But more importantly, you have already been reached out to either by phone or email to let you know that there's a major issue with your vehicle. You need to take the vehicle to the repair shop, and we have your authorization to take it and get it repaired. Now, you can say no. You can say no to that process, but be aware, if the vehicle is towed to the next DPC, those costs may be passed back to you. So we have to make sure that that's clear, because that's additional cost. So I'm not saying that you will be charged, but what I'm saying, it could be the service component for the Navy Endowments branch can come back to you and charge those additional fees. So you do have a right to say no, just like with everything else, cause and effect. Any questions? Anything else you want me to go over? All right, I'll be back here if you have any questions or anything that may pop up. I'd be more than happy to answer questions. Thank you for your time. I look forward to working with you. Once again, I say,
That PTO or discuss, no fee passport and travel certificate. My phone, I think it's not turning.
Can you hear me back there? This one, can you hear me? All right, good afternoon, everyone, families, friends, relatives, pets, we have pets around? Yeah, good. We're laughing you, San Diego, we're gonna talk about passports. So if you have any questions or concerns right now, then just hold it off and then we'll get to it. All right, the first slide, that's the first thing that you will see when you click the website to do your passport, right? So there's a lot of form out there to fill out passports, and a lot of times you regret to reject you because you got the form wrong. So when you do your passport application, that's the website right there, PS1 Flowers. You can have this after the training. This is the QR code PS1. So take it back to the ship. So when you do your application, it should take you straight to that website. All right, next slides. So then you just pretty much go on to the website and click submit, and then it'll take you to the whole shebang of application itself. Next slide. So here it is, just input your, just pretty much input your information, first name, last name, date of birth, city, states, and all of your personal information stuff. Oh, it's right there too. Alright, so next slide. So pretty much a lot of this is your information, right? This one, you have to just put your street address, your permanent address. Right, don't worry about that DOD, Washington stuff, you just put that in there to keep the slide going. Next slide. Travel plans, so you are all going to Japan, congratulations, and your new destination. I'm sure a lot of you are excited
what your travel plan would be, I get it, it's all gonna be different, right? You're gonna have your advanced party, you're gonna have your, dependents, advanced travels, and also, of course, there's gonna be someone's gonna get left behind. Again, with CMCX on the CO, for our sailors and families that get left behind, we're gonna be there for you guys until everybody gets pushed through to where you're gonna be. Alright, so you have a shipment here on duty, you want some information about travelers, we're there for you in that PTO, San Diego, so we have some people that get left behind and just we can do out there. But bear in mind also, sir, you have, I think Primble is thing with you guys, so pretty close, so right, so just bear with us, you know, we gotta get you guys all going that way, and also ships coming this way. It's just pretty much turnover, all right? So then that's your travel plans, whatever the date would be, we're not so much concerned about it, it's just the location. All right, next slide. Here we go, in case of emergency, all that is for the State Department. If for some reason there's a question about your applications and they're not getting through to what they need for you, to find out, then they'll just call. All right, next slide. This is where it gets tricky, right? So just follow the questions. Have you had most recent U.S. passports? I'm sure some of you do. Don't put not in there. If you don't, if you have one, just click yes and put the blue passport that you have in your possession.
When you go to submit this, are you required to turn in your blue passport to get your DOD red, used to be red passport?
Right. That's a big legal term, right, Captain? It says turn it in just for us to vet it. We're not going to take it from you. We're just going to vet it, make sure it is yours, the information, data is in there. We make a copy of it, and then we give it back to you. That's the word they use for statement. Turn it in doesn't mean I take it from you. I submit it, and you will see when the passport comes back. So all that is, I make a copy of it, I match it with your ID, then I send it to you. What's up?
What if we had a passport that expired and we got rid of it?
Okay, there's a lot of confusion about this one, right? There's no fee passport lingering around for active duty. There's a regular passport, right? The regular passport is strictly for your tours, hopping on different countries, right? That's your blue tourist passport. The no fee official passport, this is a strictly functional passport. This is the function where just in case there's another disaster or COVID out there, when this happens in Japan, then you have to show your official passport, knowing that you are there officially. That way, you'll be taking care of priority, not priority so much, but this passport is functional passport, the official no-fee passport. Don't use this passport to hop on to go to Tijuana. TJ, CMC will be upset with you. You cross over with my official passport, right?
I just
So,
want to be clear, every dependent has to get a no-fee passport to go to Japan. Everybody going to Japan has to get a no-fee. If you have a blue tourist one, you have to get the other one as well. I just want to make sure everybody has to be covered. I want to make sure everybody is required, if it's going to Japan, to get the no-fee passport.
yes, I would not go, just me personally, guys, I would not go to Japan without my official passport. That's for your coverage for whatever happens out there, right? Especially for dependents. All right, so official passport, there's two different functions of it. Official, your tourist one is for your travel country-wise, but this no-fee passport is officially for just one-time use to go inside the country. All right, and then, no, I'm not going to cover the dependent entry approval, that's PS1 deal. All right, next slide. So then it's going to ask you if you do have the most recent passport, either tourist passport or expired passport. Just click yes, as long as it's a U.S. tourist passport. Next. Then this one is mandatory, spouse, parents, right? So just fill in the blank, just pretty much name, birthday, the location is known. If you don't know the location, just click a known for your parents. Next. If for some reason you use other names, Just record it there, so when the State Department sees your name change or whatnot, then they'll be able to record it on your new passport. Next. So then when you're done with the application, it gives you a chance to review it all over again, right? So then you just click edit, and then it gets reviewed all over again. Next. So then when you get to this side, don't freak out about the payment, right? I think XO might be able to afford one of you guys' payment on your passport. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so don't freak so much about the payment, right? Just click passport book, it'll bypass it by itself, and then it gets you to print it. All right. Next slide. So here we go. This is pretty much the end product. So you see this, just ignore this part, then it's going to click you to the other slide where you will eventually print or save the application. Next. So then when you're done, guys, this is important piece for everybody, guys. When you send somebody to our office, this barcode has to be there. With all this technology nowadays, with how smart we are with AI and technology, you'll come to my office and say, I did my application, I followed it block by block, however you did it, but like I said, I hate to reject people coming to our office, but please have this, right? But if for some reason the site got you through, and where's ITC, the website, or the network doesn't work, and you tell me, hey, Mr. Guy, I tried everything I can, and just the network wasn't properly taking me to where it needs to, well, therefore you guys, help you guys out there. We have computers, but don't bring so many, because you know how that goes out there. It's people asking for a passport. So that's how it's going to look when you print it. So bring it by, and then but it's not exactly like this, guys, right? Some people have a different printer color. It prints out, sometimes blue, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's that. But the main thing is it has to have a barcode. All right, next slide. So then here are the pictures. This sometimes gets, who works in Walgreens or Walmart here? I'm not trying to throw you out there, right, guys? I'm not trying to throw you in the bus, but where do I take the pictures? Where's the best place to be? We tried all of them, right? For some reason, it's always going to be one or the other. Some their eyes are closed, some are just, I don't know where to send you guys. When you ask me where should I take my pictures, wherever the best you think it would be. All right, so here is the acceptable pictures for kids, right? That's just plain and simple. That's just how it is. Next. I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, some people just bring pictures like that. We get it, they're kids, right? It's just, come on, it's the first passport of your child maybe, or second or whatnot. I want my kid to look pretty on his or her passport one day, you know what I mean? But that's just the stuff that we get from the places you pay for this. And it's like, whoa, come on now, you pay for this, all right? So next slide. So yeah, that's not acceptable either. I get it, they're kids, it's hard to take pictures with the pacifier and all that stuff, but we still get those stuff, and you know, mom and dad's holding the baby, just like that. We get it, we love them all, but sometimes we gotta get it right. All right, next slide. All right, this is for adults, right? Adults, for you guys that like to smile, just keep that smile for now for the passport deal, because State Department would reject a big smile of yours when you get your passport. Next. We also get all of this deal with passport pictures. All right, those are not acceptable. Next. Those are more unacceptable ones that we get usually. Next. For religious or medical purposes, you can wear your religious or medical purpose deal. I'm not going to cover that. Let's make it simple, just like that. Make sure we can see your full face. Next. All right, birth certificate, right? For purpose of citizenship, for applying passport, you use your birth certificate. And also the last slide is your blue tourist passport. All right. That covers my passport deal, but that's the State Department side, right? That's how you do your applications, your documents, and all that good stuff. So then we go to the military side of the house, the active duty side of the house. Oh. Seems you got a break. Is that what it was?
Let's go keep it moving. Alright, so it was brief, but it was briefly mentioned about dependent entry approval. Well, that's a message that we have to send out for every dependent going to Japan. Alright? Guess what they need on that approval message?
The passport.
Your passport number, your official military
Okay.
passport, your
Okay.
official passport number. It has to go on that approval. That's what allows you to get medical services, register a car. That's the way the DOD knows you're in Japan, okay? So every dependent going, am I right, PS1?
That's right.
If I'm wrong, let me know, all right? Every dependent going to Japan must have a dependent entry approval to get the services in Japan and for Japan to recognize that you're there, all right? In order to, on that message, we have to have your passport number. So getting this process started early, super important, okay? I was trying to give you a bridge. I hope I talked on. We good? Almost.
Yes.
Where is your office? You said after they submit the application, they go to the office. Is it right there?
No.
Commissary, by the commissary.
By the commissary. CMC should be
Yeah, when it's on.
After I do my brief, right, USS San Diego team, you will have a walk-in office, door office, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So after today, you come into my office and say, I'm from USS San Diego and my CO is this, no. And I'm telling you, you're USS San Diego, you should be put in this city that you're baptized in for christening or whatever, but why do you volunteer to go to Japan? But anyway, that's just a joke. So after today, you walk into my office, USS San Diego, but here's the catch, guys. I get it, we want to help everybody, right? Same thing with CMC. CMC is going to email this throughout the whole fleet of San Diego. Every sailor that walking in my office all of a sudden is from USS San Diego. Because they're going to know. They're going to know. I'm not from USS San Diego and I can't turn them away, right? But they're going to know, hey, by the way, I'm USS San Diego, I'm going to Bahrain. Wait a minute. Sorry, but my priority right now after today is USS San Diego crew to get you guys, families and friends, get you guys your mission, spelling, and get the stress, the burden out of the side with this passport deal. Alright, so Tuesdays and Thursdays, USS San Diego. Yes, but
You know what the turnaround time is right now? Passports?
right now it's 4 weeks, right? So come May or June, but then there's no stress for you guys, because
So we have 91 days until local board change. Right, these take 4 weeks.
yeah.
1 and 2 start next month, or in like
And you mail it to
We've
me.
had this posted on our quarter day for about a month now, so this is.
But for the people that had orders, I guess the orders got trickled down in any different ways. We probably saw a good amount of crew from USS San Diego. And surprisingly, a lot of them are your prospective gains. So, but that's good. I mean, people are trickling around to get their passport together. All right, no fee passport. This is the Navy side of the no fee passport, right? But of course, you have to have your orders to NAVPTO and say I'm applying for no fee passports. The biggest thing here is your dependents must be listed in the orders, right? So if you review your orders now, if your dependents are not there, then you make sure you get your order modification, because that's the way State Department gets their money for your no fee passport. They have to be, those orders has to be funded with dependents. And for those future, what's that, expected mom and dad out there, you know, your first form of attack would be get your orders modified once the baby is born. Unfortunately, you can't get their application early on as we want it to be. So that's the biggest catch, guys, is you must have your dependents on your orders for your passport. But then all that also includes for your housing when you get to the other side of the country anyways, alright? So then 1056 PS1, you're gonna be busy for quite a bit, so go see PS1. All that is to vet you that you are part of the team, that you're actually from San Diego. Otherwise, we're gonna get this passport all people coming in and say, oh, my passport, did you see your COX or Y? They see you want to read out a passport and say, I'm from USA, San Diego, then go see PS1. Alright, DS11, this gets confusing also, guys. If you have a tourist passport and you follow the questionnaire on that State Department, then it's going to give you the right form. Right, but then either way, we would want you to use your DS82 if you have a passport, right? Expired or unexpired, that way it won't cost the government so much money. So if I have to do a DS11 all over again, if you already have that passport, then they're going to do an investigation on you again from day one. Then they have to send the team out there and investigate your record all over again. Then the Navy is going to pay extra money for them just to go through all of that. And if you do a DS82, then there's a better chance that you get your passport for 4 weeks. If you have to go a DS11 again, it's like reissuing a new passport. It just takes a long time for a DS11 to do. Next slide. Photos, just like I showed you the photos, we recommended all the stores to go. You know, Walmart, Costco's, Walgreens, and there's other stores out there that you could go to. I think at FedEx was the best one we saw so far. And one pictures is the same thing, no glasses, no bare shoulders, no small smoking, khaki shirts, no military uniforms, right? This also includes your dependents or your friends or whatnot, right? There's also a lot of people out there trying to get dependents, putting the uniforms out there. I get it, your dependents, but don't wear any uniform clothing. Okay, when I was State Department, allow that. Background of the photo must be plain white or off-white. That's not a big issue. Photo must have been taken within 6 months. So 6 months, don't. My CEO is laughing at me as he's about to turn in his photo when he just got done with his post-grad now. But anyway, right? Previous photo that's used with the blue passport, you can't use that one. Don't use that one, guys. There's still a lot of people out there trying to tell us, no, this is not this is how good State Department is. They can tell you if that picture is the same from the last one you used or the one prior to that you used. So, I mean, I can't even cheat the system with them. They know what's on that passport. All right, next slide. What's up?
Nope, you gotta get a second one.
You gotta go.
Promise you they will reject it. And I use the same photo for 2 different passports.
That one is more expensive, so build it on Skipper for your pictures now. No, you won't work, they know. As much as we want to do that, they know. Alright, proof of citizenship, that's added there, marriage contract, but marriage contract doesn't work for US citizenship. I don't know why some people think it is. But original birth certificate, original naturalization certificate, that's when you do your US citizen proof. Current passport, your blue passport, and then expired passport within 15 years. A lot of times too, you have that abstract passports. California issues abstract passports, like three lines. Georgia do, Texas. I don't even know why they do Texas abstract. Usually Texas birth certificate. It's long, not wide. It's pretty big, but sometimes they do the abstract thing. So that's your proof of citizenship, guys. Birth certificate, your passport, and naturalization. All right, next slide. Children, unfortunately, we have to see everybody, right? Children must have to be all present. 16, and if you have a kid or 16 years or over, they can execute their own passport, so they can be by themselves and do their passport application. Both parents has to be present, right? I'm not going to dwell on this so much because everybody's different, right? If you're divorced, if you're adopted kids, or foster child and whatnot, you do if one of the parents are not present, then you do a 3053. All that is a consent letter stating that because you're not present, one of the parents is not present, then you do have to do that form. And if you have a full custody of the child, make sure you have a divorce decree or adoption letter, whichever one you can provide, because the State Department is going to totally ask for that. Then ID cards, you need to copy both of your ID cards, parents, active duty, and mother or father, or whatever the case would be. Alright, so next slide. That should be pretty much it for the military side of the house for requirements. So, orders, guys, make sure your dependents are here on your orders. Proof of citizenship, pictures, DS11 or 82, and photo ID. Alright, any questions? Yes? Our hours of office is 08:30 to 11:30. Then we're on lunch from 11:30 to 12:30. Then from there to 1500.
You just give us the building number. What's the building number?
Our number is 619. Our building number is 265. It's the address. It's on this. It's on this little deal here. Yes.
These are also good appointments. We called a few times, but I haven't had luck, so.
After today, because since we already did this brief review, we're telling you guys because we don't want to waste your time, especially for families, right? You show up with 2-3 kids, next thing you know is, hey, why are you rejecting me? We don't want to do this to you guys. We'd rather have this brief right here, then we know if something is missing, then we can help you from there. Alright, so from now on, you don't have to call the office or email and make an appointment. Just say, from USS San Diego, we got you there. Our priority is this team and Preble. We got to get you guys through what you guys need to do. So family and friends, and we can get by and make sure all the stress are covered. There's nobody left behind, right? San Diego team, the best LHD out there. Best LHD out there. Any more questions? Yes.
Just a comment, so that PTO will absolutely help you out, but that 4-week turnaround time is once everything's properly submitted. Good chance somebody will make some sort of mistake, or you got a form missing or something. Highly recommend, get out in front of this now. If you haven't taken your photos, all that stuff, start gathering all the supporting paperwork, do that now within the next week or two, and then it'll be a pretty smooth process. But that's 4 weeks once everything is properly submitted.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, one of the documents said even if you have an expired passport, you need to mark yes. But if you don't have the expired passport anymore, is that going to be an issue?
If you don't have the no fee, which one is it? The no fee or the
Yeah,
two?
honestly, I think I had both. It was back in 2012, and I haven't left.
Do you have one of them at least? Then you have to do a loss, the DS64, and then you have to do, then they'll take you to DS11. All over again. Question? Next question? No? Alright guys, that's all wrapped up, right? That's the entry to get in the country, right? You got your overseas screening, you got your passport, now you got your DEA, right? So then how do I get there? Some of you have the luxury to ride USS San Diego, which I wish I could. CMC told me I can't, so it's trying to give me my uniform all over again, but hey, I'd love to ride with you guys, right? So then how do you get there, right? Then PS1 will be busy when he gets all of this, your DEA and your passport and all of that, you decided what day you want to go, and he submits all that transportation request with all of that package, and we'll get you a flight, right? So which way do I go, right? Do I take the AMC or do I take the commercial airlines, right? Unfortunately, guys, we don't have mission to go to Sasebo. So some of you are happy. Some of you are happy to be on that commercial airline. And some of you are going to be trying to work with me, or I'm trying to work with you how to get you to Sasebo, right? So some of you have pets, snakes, chickens, fish, whatever the family would love. And it's not a challenge, but you just gotta bear with me, right? I gotta find your flight that takes all of that. So if you have a pet, right? I talked to CMC about this one. But this is, who been to Japan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There he is. There they are. They are an expert, right? I can put you on AMC, but the AMC only lands to Iwakuni. Then when I take you to Iwakuni, how far is the public transportation to take you to Iwakuni to Sasebo? Right? This is only if you have pets that AMC flight is going to be the most adventurous for you to take, right? So AMC will take you to Iwakuni, then you should have an Asian up in Japan to see if that's even possible around that time. I heard it was 5-hour ride. It was about 5-hour ride from Iwakuni to Japan, right? If you want to work with me on that kind of flying, then I'll put you on the EMC promise. But then if you have pets, guys, if you have pets and you know you're taking your pets, when you apply for that passport, right? Hey, Mr. Guy, I have 2 pets and I need to work it out early in advance so I can put my pet within the airline. We'll be willing to work with you. We're going to book your pets to pet-friendly airlines. That way you will advance with your pet deal. Like I said, we want to alleviate all the stress as much as possible for you was to execute this. You have enough already to put in your pets, pets, families, and the ways and all that good stuff, right? So right now, American Airlines has a straight flight from San Diego to Tokyo, Tokyo to Fukuoka. That's eventually where you're going to be, right? But like I said, you guys are competing with Purple and Disney. So the early, if you have a bad guys, I suggest get with PM1, wrap it all up, get your 1056, come to NAPPO, then we're going to negotiate your airlines, all right? But other than that, and your flight will be on a commercial airline from San Diego to Tokyo, Tokyo to Fukuoka. Then San Diego's gonna have the limousine at the Fukuoka airport and pick you up from there.
May look like a bus.
Oh, come on, CNC. But anyways, besides that, I'd love to see you guys at that video. You get your deal all together, like I keep repeating myself, right? I've been there, we've all been there in that office. It is really stressful, but we have real resources. CMC, EXO, and Captain here. It takes a phone call or a visit to our office, and we'll get you out there. Besides from that, a congratulations on your orders, new destination, new experience. United States, maybe the best. Although my partner over there is an Air Force guy, he probably say no, but if you have issues, concerns, PS1, CMC, our door is open for you guys after today. Captain, thank you. XO, Master Chief, thanks for having us.
One thing, guys, it was asked, regardless of category, active duty military, get a no fee passport, okay? Everybody who's going, Cat 0, 1, 2, or 3, get a no fee. What that buys us is flexibility. If something happens and we are underway, and I need to fly you into Bali, Indonesia, Singapore, somewhere else, it will let you get out of the country fast, okay? That's what the no-fee passport buys us. In accordance with Opward 7000, we're all required to have them. Get your applications in. For the family members, you have to be on the orders to get there. For the actives, you just gotta be a part of San Diego, okay? Any questions before we move on to the next? Yes?
So clarification, the no-fee passport is just for the dependents, it's not for the service member?
That's it. Go ahead.
Sir, that's only for dependents.
Okay. So the official military, sorry, the official military
No,
passport.
no, no,
You got it.
for, San Diego, active duty, you don't need official or no tourist passport.
No, you don't need the tourist passport.
Not
Okay.
even the official passport.
Okay.
Only dependents.
So how are we supposed to get them to Japan without a passport?
How are you supposed to work?
To take them to Japan?
Take them to the bank, your ID card and your voter ID. Your ID card and your voter ID.
Yeah, active duty can use ID card to get into Japan,
Yes.
right? They can use ID card, they don't need the passport. All dependents need the passport. What the captain's talking about is the world deployment we're underway, right? And we need to get you off the ship to go somewhere else. You will need a passport to get out of some of these countries, right? Everybody can get, every active duty only can get into Japan without a passport. You just need your ID card. Every dependent needs a no-fee passport. Make sense?
Okay. So who do we have next?
The council.
All yours.
Earlier I talked about the categories. I'm not gonna go through the whole, entitlements brief. Can everybody hear me back there? Hello? But I just wanna highlight some of the first entitlements brief, just in case everything's clear. So we went over the categories. Like I mentioned, category 1 is the main category that gives you all the full benefits for a PCS move. And with that, they give the utmost flexibility for your dependents. Some of you heard of advanced independent travel. Some of you already applied for that and got approved for that. That's great. Just a few key points with that. For advanced travel, what your BA in San Diego stops and your OHA starts the day that your dependents arrive in Japan. That's for the advanced travel. For the delayed, the entitlements or the BA rate will continue on until your dependents arrive in Japan, whatever that date is. For the delayed travel, one of the big, the biggest reason, of course, is to finish up the school year for school-age children. We're in April now, so that's one of the big reasons why people like that. I think the majority of the families did request delayed dependent travel. For mill-to-mill sailors, in that backtrack, there's also entitlement for FSA, family separation allowance. Some of you are familiar with that. If you're away from your family for more than 30 days, you get that $250 tax-free allowance to your pay. That applies to, especially for our PGs that just reported in before the effective date. If you have dependents, then you can get that FSA as long as you're away from your dependents. For BA, for the sailors without dependents, or the single sailors, unfortunately, your entitlement, if you got BA here, it'll stop on the effective date, and then you will have to reapply for the E5s and the E4s with over 4 years. You have to reapply again for that BA entitlement if you choose to live or elect to live out in town, and that's also based on occupancy rates for the barracks overseas. It's a no-brainer here that it's illegal to collect BA rates in 2 different locations. So once one stops, then the other will carry on upon the effective date, or if you have the advanced travel or dependent travel. I think that's pretty much all the main points here. And of course, the service member escort for folks that have the delayed dependent travel. When time permits, you can fly back to CONUS to pick up your dependents and household goods. That's a reimbursable entitlement. They'll pay for your travel to come back, pick up your household goods and dependents, and then fly them over to Japan. Are there any questions regarding entitlements?
What's the amount of time that is allowed for delayed?
30 days. 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 Up to 180 days.
Okay.
Yeah, from the effective date. There could be a waiver if it's longer, up to 365 days, but that's another application process to request that.
So I'm a Cat 2, no dependents, expecting to be Cat 3 soon. So what should I do with my stuff once the ship leaves?
For Cat 2, you do have an offline allowance that PERS will issue you for a temporary amount of storage of your goods. Let me see. Yeah, you don't get the full entitlements, but you'll get storage and vehicle transportation as well.
And then will they send you back to San Diego for an ISOP, or you wait your next job to get your stuff?
That's a good question.
So full entitlement for the storage? Or this DH stops, right, no matter what?
Correct.
Yeah, you get a storage allotment, but even after that, when you detach, you still ISOP you in San Diego for a period of time, so you can collect your car, your stuff, and get UCS to the next location.
So then, my next question would be, is there any entitlement or does anything come with that to be able to move our stuff into storage? Or is that on the service member to cover?
Oh, once you come back here,
Before we leave, if I move all my stuff into storage, do I have to pay for whatever cost that incurs to take care of moving it and, leaving the place I'm renting? Or is there an entitlement to help subsidize that?
yeah, your follow-on order should cover that entitlement.
Okay.
Does the non-temporary storage that you were talking about, does that cover him moving that stuff? The non-temporary storage allowance that you get?
That's not a category, no. That might be cat one.
We'll get a different answer.
Okay, appreciate it.
I think that's category one.
Anybody else?
Any questions, right? We do have Commander Smollett, this is first, 451. They're actually the one that deals with the pay and stuff, so their team is actually there to support any questions. Any questions you guys have, whether we don't have the answer right now, we can get you the answer later on, but, all those questions, we're gonna write it down and take it back to them, so, we can definitely get you guys the answer. So if there's anything, again, reiterate, if there's anything we cannot answer right now, we'll definitely get you the answer to those questions.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Are we at the question and answer period now?
Got it. Alright, so how you doing? Since you very much. I just wanted to introduce our two of us. You guys want to come up for a second? Alright, we just give one phone group. We just got two. Introduce themselves to the team.
I'm not gonna use a microphone because I'm a teacher, so I'm typically really loud anyway. But yes, we are your Colin Bunsen team for the USS San Diego. I got to meet a lot of y'all Friday morning at the all call for all hands. Always forget the language. But yeah, so we are your Bunsen team, and what we act as is a liaison between you, your family, and the command if you have questions, comments, concerns. In addition to that, we provide resources. So if you have been following our Facebook page, we posted our information, our email address, our phone number, and so you can get in direct contact with us to ask us questions. So if you were sitting through this meeting or town hall and you're like taking notes but forgot to jot something down, we have the notes, we have the information, and we're happy to send you those resources as well. After the meeting today, I also have a box of candy. If you were on the ship on Friday, you saw the candy too. And so the candy has, our contact information on it. Sorry, someone got a little melted in my car. But it has a QR code to scan questions for us? Thank you.
All right, I think that wraps up all the presenters we've got for tonight, so now we're gonna open it up to what other questions might come up. We are working right now, I know the school liaison officers, we were trying to have them here, the flights were delayed, we're seeing if we can get them to the ship tomorrow. The goal would be to get them on there and have at least a couple hours where folks can swing by and ask any direct questions about the Japan school liaison officers. But again, anybody who's got a kid in school here in any of the school systems in Southern California, there are school liaison officers that are paid by the school district to work with other school districts. So going to Japan from East Lake, you should be able to work with the East Lake school to get everything transferred. So what other questions do we have? Yes. Okay.
Do they have to be specific in, like, getting the car or?
So-
Can it be under general?
Power of attorney. There are really good uses for a power of attorney. I know they caution strongly against a general power of attorney. A general power of attorney, if you trust the person that much, that's wonderful. I have done it a couple of times, but it allows them to sell off everything. I've had friends that came back to nothing. They left a general power of attorney, had an inconsistency in the relationship somewhere in the deployment cycle, and came back to the car missing, all their stuff gone, and the house sold. So, a general power of attorney is very, very powerful. If you know you have a specific event though, you have a house in San Diego you weren't able to sell, but it's on the market, you think you're gonna be able to close, have a specific power of attorney for closing on the house is probably the only one they're gonna take when it actually comes to closing. So, if you're trying to sell your car, trying to sell your house, trying to sell some stuff off before you go, the specific is always the way to go, particularly if you know the design of the transaction you're going for. The general allows an awful lot of stuff to happen, so you gotta be careful with that. We do have the availability to get those turned pretty quickly. We can actually notarize them on the ship, or if we need to get an attorney, I have one on call, pretty much on the ship once a week. So, good question though. Any others?
I got one there real quick, sir. I did, just got off the phone first, 451. So, sir, to answer your question, all the Cat 2s, right, all our category 2s that's on the ship, they are allowed in non-temporary storage and in the vehicle, but it's two separate requests. With the Cat 2s, that's gonna be all the names that we submit to PERS 451. So once, if you, like yourself, sir, that you're requesting to do that non-temporary storage, it'll be cut in the order, so the Navy will pay for the non-temporary storage and to come get it. Now, the vehicle will be something separate, so that'll be two separate things we'll do. So the vehicle storage and then the non-temporary storage. But for all the Cat 2 sailors, they will have that, ability. It's the only ones that don't have that ability will be Cat 3, because it's basically everybody that's, less than a year that already has a set of orders to go somewhere else.
Yeah, if you're Cat 3, the expectation is you're packing it to San Diego and sending it to be stored on the other end, either on this end, pre-transit, or on that end at the government's discretion to your new duty station. Okay? That makes sense?
For the, power attorneys, is that something we should do out of town or use in Navy?
No, I would use a Navy. One, it's free, so the price is good. Two, they're very, very familiar with it, so, I think we've already talked with legal about having them come out and do a power of attorney day and get the will forms so that folks can submit and later get those back if you want to update your will. It doesn't hurt to do that either. All right, anybody else? Yes?
I think it's already might have been mentioned once, but just to clarify, let's say you have a dependent or dependents that are staying in the United States, right, you're sent in Japan, would the thing that come from the OI in Japan, or would it be a H1 in the United States?
So if they are on your page 2 and they're listed as dependents, it would be here. It would be wherever their location is in CONUS. The only time you get OHA is if you are not claiming here.
You have to request it.
You have to
Continuation
request it.
of station allowance. You have to submit a request for that. PS1,
I've signed several of them. I've actually signed several of them that have come up already, but I have to submit mine on the Cat 2. So.
update your in-pass. Thank you. I said that Friday, but I'm gonna remind everyone here, if you don't know what that is, ask your sailor. Please, please, please update that information. So, 'cause that's how we verify identity when you get, that roster available to us. It's confidential, et cetera. That's how we verify that you're connected to the ship, so we can provide resources. Please update your capacity.
Yes. How does housing work? So right now, housing is full, very full, because we're getting over there and all the ships are already there, and they're not leaving until later in the year, Green Bay. So, housing, base housing, are you talking about leaving your family here housing, how does that work, or housing in Japan? So when you get to Japan, we will work with the housing office, they'll show you on-base stuff, or barracks style, or housing style. It's small and it's pretty full from all reports. I was talking with Commodore the other day out there, and it's kind of full. So then they will give you options out in town. These are pre-vetted places that they've worked with the landlords before, and they have a list of these. You go around and find one that works for you. OHA works differently from BAH. So from BAH, if you are lucky enough to find a place that is, the rent is less than your BAH, you keep the difference, right? OHA is spend it or lose it. So if it gives you $3,000 a month, you wanna find a place that's $29.99. Because you're only gonna get $29.99 every month. If you find a place that's $2,000, you just save maybe $1,000 a month for as long as you're in that lease. So, when we get over there, we'll work with the housing office, we'll give folks the opportunity to go out. If you are a single sailor in San Diego drawing BAH E485, and you're drawing BAH and you want to go live out in town, you have to submit the request again. That was one of the things that was briefed tonight. So for our junior sailors, you gotta ask again. Shouldn't be an issue, okay?
Just wanted to make mention of those that are taking their families over, make reservations at the main lodge and ASAP, you know, to get that in because PCS season, so no doubt.
Also, do a good scrub of your furniture, all right? If you're like me, been in this organization for 24 years and accumulated a lot of stuff, I've been to Japan 3 times, right? Everything is not going to fit, it's not going to work. Especially if you get a show out in town, things are that much smaller than those days, all right? So I always use, Chap's mentioned doing his Diddy move at a meeting earlier today, I'm gonna do a Diddy move. I'm gonna have to put some stuff in storage. I just am. The Navy authorizes all that for you, so please do a good scrub of your big furniture, and whatnot, and everything will likely not fit in your house. I know we have personal property here this time, but that's a plug.
I think we parked on that one quite a bit, all other three townhomes.
So, we have sailors that are taking families over, considering prior to us getting, how do they get housing set up prior to, in
Go
line,
to the lodge, and then you go to the housing office as soon as you get there. Go and talk to them. We can forewarn them that folks are coming, but they can send you some stuff online to look at, but they're probably not gonna say, oh, congratulations, you just landed, let's take you to your house.
They'll need to know
That's right now.
how to lodge.
Yes. Yeah.
We're in contact with the housing and stuff already, right? They've pretty much been reaching out. So what's the process is gonna go, they're gonna get numbers as far as like who's gonna live out of town, right? The barracks and all of that. We're gonna send that information back, and then try to set aside, a certain amount for the sailors that, is gonna require, like the base housing out in town, right? So you collecting your old house. So some of that, this is the purpose and the reason behind us, having who's gonna do the late, right? And the early dependent arrival. This is the reason for us to have those numbers. So if you know you're gonna be doing that type of arrival, that's some of the things that you need to be voicing up, right? Through your sailor or, yourself as a sailor, right? Voicing that stuff up. That's why we're getting these numbers, to make this process a little bit easier. Everybody, it's gonna be a little headache. Of course, you're gonna go through those trials and tribulations, but as far as that housing and stuff, they've been reaching out already. So we'll just get those numbers so that way everybody got the same information. And then we'll have this posted up on the Facebook page. And again, if it's any questions or stuff that we can't answer right now, we'll definitely get you guys to answer.
Something to follow up with that. So if our family's gonna be moving, right, will we still get that home prior to them being in Japan, or do they have to already be in Japan in order for us to get the keys to the house?
You have to be,
They have to be there.
They have to already be there.
And I do have friends 10 days, and then you can keep going. You can actually extend that, so if you're still looking, you basically have to, at least the last time I did this, you had to show that you had visited at least 3 places and none of them were suitable, and tell them why. This was a dump, this place smelled like smoke, and this place was way too far out. It's good enough, and then they'll extend you. But yes, it starts with 10 days of temporary lodging allowance, and then you can extend that while you're still searching. I mean, you can't spend a year there waiting into the house on the end of the cul-de-sac that has a perfect yard, but they're reasonable.
So if that's the case, do you get off for that contract in July?
You get TLA, you get temporary lodging allowance.
They said this.
Ten days, that's for y'all, 10 days, so 10 days.
Them shoes, that's gonna break your ankle.
I don't think you would need a POA for that, I think we can actually still liquidate that stuff, but we will find that question out.
This is where the dependent entry.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you would have probably the dependent entry approval.
But her dependent entry is already approved.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you want to use to get a house, right? Because you're on the independent entry, you have your ID, when you use those 2 forms to keep things open.
Sorry, I had a question, yes.
What happens with our pets for the time we're in law?
So most lodges allow pets. Most. I will verify that. I'm
That's
just gonna
what
go
it is.
text and ask her. We'll verify that, but. I was gonna say there's a quarantine period that actually is gonna hold most of them. So, and that is on the website when it talks about the travel requirements, because it's very specific. You can't take them to any old vet. You gotta get an Army veterinarian to clear them before.
Here, Marvet.
There's a lot of requirements to go in.
Here, Mar.
But, more than likely they will be in quarantine while it depends on countries, I'm not specific on Japan, so I would say go to the website, please, because I don't want to put out the wrong information. I know that when we moved to Hawaii, I had to quarantine my dog for 3 months out of town. So,
Once you start the full cert process and you get that second round of rabies vaccine, it's 180-day waiting period. So it's, so I'll post the PDF to the Facebook tonight that I made, the hyperlinks, and so starting that process, not only getting your health pre-screening done, but then no passport, and then the pet process is really important because there's a long waiting period. I started it last year in preparation for doing it. It's like,
great question, and that's, again, the website, we've got all these links, we've been trying to push them out, we'll continue, we're on Facebook, we'll put them in a couple other places, but, other questions? I see we're starting to lose some of the crowd, that's a good cue. It's a great cue, all right. If anybody else has any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Ask your chain of command, ask CMC, Excel, grab me, ask a question. If I don't know, I will flat out tell you I don't know, but I will also tell you I'll find out, and generally I can get back to you in about 24 hours, okay? Sometimes we gotta pull a little harder because it might be a very unique circumstance. Ask, because we have a lot of unique circumstances we have to work through. Again, 91 days through slip lines, okay? We're running out of time, folks. Please, get the medical stuff done. Get the medical stuff done, get it submitted so that we can get it processed. Because when we're done, it still has to go to PERS and get through them, and they are backlogged. So please, help me help you guys, all right? If there's no other questions, thank you again, QMC, for getting a great venue. I think this is probably gonna be the last town hall we do. I think we're looking at least one more command function where we found this together before we go, but I don't think it's gonna be a town hall, so. Thank you guys for coming out, and again, if you have questions, please ask. I think everybody's gonna stick around